Hello, my name's J3KB, and today oh, fuck, that actually hurt. I'm reviewing Far Cry 4. Should put a fucking note on these boxes that they explode when you lift them up. Smash your goddamn eye sockets in, motherfuckers. Thank you to Ubisoft for sending over this death fucking trap. Joking aside, thank you to Ubisoft for sending over the special edition, which just almost fucking killed me on camera. Second thing I want to do is thank all of you guys are fucking incredible. I keep swearing so much. My mom once said, "Don't swear on the show." Sorry about that, Mom. You guys have been amazing in terms of commenting, sharing, giving me feedback. I need your feedback. I want everybody who watches this to comment because it's about the community out there. The future of the show is always about the community. I love you guys. I do these reviews in length and detail for you love bots out there. I love you. I love all of you so much. These likes and favorites I keep asking for, they actually help the show. If you've seen the subscriber count, it's going up again, and it's a good time because I wanted to flush out a bunch of people who were, and now they're all, "Oh no, I like you again." So thank you so much for the supporters who have been here from the beginning. Let's get into the Far Cry 4 review. I'm pointing at my computer, not my dick. As always, I ask you questions on Twitter and Facebook, and this is no exception. I asked you guys in my unboxing of that killer, literally the killer edition down there that almost killed me, of the Karat. That makes no sense, but that fucking box that almost killed me, you get the fucking point! Fuck you, box! Far Cry 4 is an action-adventure game set in an open world. It is in first person, and if you're living under a rock, you wouldn't have known that. Ooh, Eric Nikolazovic, I think I said your name right. He asks, and I'll quote him, "How's the story? Been hearing mixed things. Curious, blah, blah, blah. Is it as good as Far Cry 4? Well, thank you, Eric, for asking your question. I'm going to answer it right now as I tell you the story of Far Cry 4. Far Cry 4 takes place in the fictional country of Karat. You assume the role of AJ Gale. I almost got that wrong. His name is AJ Gale. And it's important to note that he's the first ever protagonist in a Far Cry game that is from the country you are fighting in. So that's kind of cool to see that because he's got history there. Now, why are you back in Karat when you know it's kind of a shitstorm now and shit's gone down? Well, AJ's actually back in Karat to lay his mother to rest. Can't speak today. "Hi, Jay, want to do a YouTube show?" "Sure, but first you'll learn how to fucking Chinglish." AJ's back in Karat trying to fulfill his mother's dying wishes by putting her ashes in Karat. So she wants her ashes back there. And what's going on in Karat at the time that you show up is some crazy goddamn dictator named Pagan Min. That tasted like butter chicken. AJ's caught in the middle of a war between Pagan Min's royal army and the Golden Path. Now, there's two sides to every story, and in Far Cry 4, there's some unique things that they tried to do, and maybe they pulled them off. I don't know. We'll see at the end of the review. But it's this, you know, a lot of people are going to ask a question about Pagan Min. I'll get to that in a second. But the story, for its most part, I would say, as I put this down because I'm worried it's going to fucking kill me again, is enjoyable to a certain degree. Now, in Karat, you run into a lot of weirdos, a lot of crazy people, a lot of kooky characters, and one of them is Herc. Herc is the character who shows up to introduce you to the online co-op mode. Now, I have to just say this, because I like to be honest in these reviews, but he's like a stereotypical American guy, dude, basically from the Expendables, who likes to just shoot people in the face. He doesn't even know what side he's on. It's one of these story plot points that I fucking hate in video games when they put this character in who's got this important role, because in co-op you're going to have to look at his face and do missions with him, but unfortunately they're like, he's a throwaway character, he's just there to put in place for the co-op. So when people go into co-op, you've got this character that is known to them. Well, guess what? I hate it. It's stupid, it's ridiculous. The story, when it gets to, in terms of Herc's missions there, holy shit. Horrible writing. I think he's kind of funny because he says the stupidest shit ever, but he's just this basic American like hunter who wants to kill people. Again, doesn't know what fucking side he's on. Just has these stupid, I just hate he's basically from Duck Dynasty. Like, go fuck yourself, get out of my game. J&J from YouTube asks, how do you feel about the loyalty system? Who did you work for the most of the time? That made no sense. I didn't read that correct because I'm sick. Honestly, guys, I'm really pushing through this. I'm fucking choking. I'm dying. My voice is gone. I love you. Far Cry 4 features a loyalty system that comes pretty quick into the game. You run into two characters named Amita and Sabal. Now, these two characters are kind of at a crossroads. They're kind of deciding on which way they take the golden path. They're considered terrorists in the country when really the terrorists could be pagan men. Or as the story progresses, you kind of it kind of blurs the line on who do you think really is the bad guy in this game. But not going to spoil the story for you. I'm going to tell you that the loyalty system is very interesting in this game. You're given the choice to either work for Amita or Sabal at the beginning of the game. And Sabal is more of, let's save the people, let's deal with peacekeeping and like, you know, not what Amita wants. Amita wants to basically get this intel and crush the other side of things and turn people into soldiers. So it's kind of how you want to play it. Now, does it change the story as you go? I'd have to play it a second time, but I already dropped like 50 hours into this, and it's one of those things that does actually keep me interested, because now I want to go back and play those missions the other side of the coin. I don't want to see how much it changes the story. So yes, it does change the story as it goes along, and I know in the end of the game you do get to make decisions on how the game ends, and this definitely does play into how the game will end for you. So, you know, the loyalty system is important to the game. I wouldn't say it's like a feature that you'll be like, oh, I don't know which side to choose. It's really on what you want to do in the game, because it could be a mission like go and steal intel or go over here and kill a bunch of people. So it's all depending on how you want to play the game, how long you want to take to play the game. Nathan Van Dyke asks, is the game gorgeous? Well, yes. Played on PS4, obviously. You saw my unboxing, I hope. You better have, you goddamn little monkey bots. Love you. The game is actually gorgeous. I love the fact that you can get in these helicopters now. There's like these little, feels like a little bicycle helicopter that you get into, and it really is a piece of shit. And you're kind of risking your life to go in this thing, but it's one of those vehicles in the game that get you higher above the level, and you get to see this sort of like opening landscape and going over the mountains. The game is absolutely stunning at its best. I'm almost choking. I would say at its worst, it sometimes looks a little cluttered, and what I mean by that is kind of there's a lot of trees, a lot of foliage sometimes, and sometimes it's very hard to use your sniper rifle through that stuff, and that's really like the only visual problem I saw. I did notice that there was like clipping invisible walls on the side of objects sometimes, so I'd be shooting at an enemy and hitting him in the head, but unfortunately I'd be hitting the side of a building even though I was missing that side of the building. So yes, okay, visually stunning, yes, absolutely love it, love it. A ton of people asked me how the co-op was in this game, and I have to say right now, co-op play online is the best feature in this game. It's absolutely a bag of barreled monkeys. That means it's really good. It's a lot of fun. A lot of chaos happens. It's very hard to actually go through the game when you're playing in co-op, because you just come across so many different, you know, just silly things you can do in the game, and you'll spend most of your time goofing off on helicopters, or, you know, shooting rhinos or riding elephants, smashing cars up with elephants, putting C4 onto cars and then cutting the brakes so it like rolls down a hill, and then you ignite it as it goes into a village and kills everybody. It's a lot of fun. I have to really give thumbs up to Ubisoft on the co-op side of things. Works great. We didn't notice any lag. We noticed that it was like really well designed. So good job on Ubisoft's part. Really a lot of fun. I really suggest that you guys try this online. It also comes with the keys to Karat. Now this will let you on PS4 send the game basically to your friends. So it's not the same thing as share play, what you can do on the PS4. This is something totally different. So if your friend doesn't have the game, you can let them try the game out and play some co-op with them. So do that, enjoy it. Co-op is awesome. Xander Martinez on Facebook asks, what do you think of the villain Pagan Min? Does he surpass Vass or Voss? Is he a better villain? Well, Pagan Min in this game is played once again by Troy Baker. And as always, Troy Baker's actually voicing this review. That's how good he is. Pagan Min is one of those characters you love to hate. I absolutely love to hate him. When he's on screen, I'm wondering when he's going to say next, how funny he's going to be. He's full of like pop culture references, and I really feel like he was really created with the Joker in mind. He's almost kind of a Joker character. I really like that about him. He's got this chaos theory in his head where he's just completely mad, but he also has a grip on what is going on. He understands what he's doing, but he's just having too much fun. The beginning of the game, it starts out with a Clash song, so it's one of those things that, you know, they use the Clash, and the Clash were always about propaganda and all that sort of. I don't want to get into all that stuff, but the propaganda in the game is kind of cool. It's one of those things that if you don't like listening to, you know, deeper, rich parts of the story, this propaganda aspect of the story will kind of get to you a little bit. It's kind of like it's there in front of you and you kind of want to get past it. But in terms of, you know, having the Clash really kick off this game and having Pig and Min, you know, come down in a helicopter and say, let's get this shit going, it really pushes you into the game. But then as you go, Pig and Min really just becomes a voice because you don't run into him that much. You're on this incredible journey and he's got this walkie-talkie and he'll call you once in a while and say amazing lines, but you don't get to see him till further in the game. And that could be like hours, 5, 10 hours in of you just randomly playing. You'll hear him once in a while. So overall, is he better than Vass? Well, Vass, that's tough to beat. Tony Badalano asks, do you feel that Far Cry 4 is getting the Assassin's Creed plague? Is it getting more stale with every version of the game? So, Toby, I gotta say that as I was playing the game, I was thinking Far Cry 3, Far Cry 3, Far Cry 3, animals, Far Cry 3, crafting, Far Cry 3, oh, boats, trees, dogs, cats, living together. All this stuff was in Far Cry 3, and I thought, what's really new in this game? And to sum it up very quickly, I would say obviously the story is a lot different than Far Cry 3. The characters that you play are completely different than Far Cry 3, but in terms of like the gameplay itself, there's not too much here that is new. Yes, there's a huge map editor that I'll talk about in the end that they've definitely improved over Far Cry 3's map editor for the multiplayer, but map editor, much better in this game. I can't say that there's too much more that's new in the game, so I really have to say that there's not too much going on that's new in this game. I really feel that a lot of it is like, if it's not broken, don't fix it type mentality at Ubisoft with all of their franchises, and I do agree that this is like top-notch gameplay, but what do we want to see? Open worlds that are just like scattered with animals all the time? Where does the franchise need to go to be something new? I really feel like the next Far Cry, like Far Cry 5, needs to be in a very populated, dense city setting. I really feel that going over mountains, even though that, yes, there's new terrain in this in terms of like the snow-capped mountains, but really, what do we need in a Far Cry 4 game? Far Cry 4 game? Far Cry game? We really need a new setting. I'm kind of sick of these like open environments, just like blowing shit up, blowing up little huts and killing animals and hunting them and getting their pelts and making a, you know, bigger loot bag. I want it to be in the city next time. So yes, I'll be honest here, it is getting a little stale. I really do hope that it goes somewhere new in the next Far Cry. And I apologize because I'm losing my voice. I got sore throat. Now I'm going to talk about the map. The map is absolutely goddamn horrendously big. Unbelievably big. Now the good point that I have to point out is fast travel will be available to you as you play through the game. So the more you encroach into the map, the better it gets. The more you could see on the map, so it will reveal like things like treasure chests, where you can hunt the animals, where you'll find side missions, all that sort of stuff shows up as, of course, in every other Ubisoft game, you take over the towers. Now the towers are as simple as going to the top and turning off a radio. Now, why does every goddamn Ubisoft game, including, well, the Crew is coming out, but there's cars, so there's no such thing as a tower, but there are areas you get to where you hit a button and it reveals the map, and in this, it's the same as usual. Go up a tower, reveal the map. Assassin's Creed, go up a tower, reveal the map. Watch Dogs, hack a tower, reveal the map. What the hell? Side missions can be quite varied in Far Cry 4, and it's probably some of the best stuff that you'll play in the game. Yes, the main story is kind of interesting at times. I can't say it's the best Far Cry story, but I'll say that the side missions definitely make up for a lot of the missing components in the main missions. So, side missions, and I took notes on this, there's things like, you know, armored escorts. I can't fucking speak today, but that's where you have to escort a vehicle from point A to point B on the map. Make sure that the Royal Army does not blow it up. I actually enjoy those missions a lot, because this time around, in your vehicles, you can put on auto drive. Car will drive for you and you control the speed, unfortunately, it can't handle the turns as well as you would hope. So, you have to pay attention to your speed, but on the plus side, you don't really have to steer the car. So, I like shooting out of the car without having to steer it. It's a lot easier to do. I'm trying to breathe. Another instance of a side mission is something called Karat Fashion Week, which is kind of funny because Pagan Min is clearly, obviously, into fashion. So, into fashion, what do you do in this mission? Well, this is actually a lot of fun. The first one you get to do is hunt and skin unique animals that will give you powerful upgrades. So, I have to say this now, the first side mission I did for the Fashion Week was fucking amazing. You had to go against, and I'm sure I'm getting his name wrong, I think it was Gulo, not sure, but he's a honey badger who's unique. So you're thinking, oh, it's just going to be a typical honey badger out of the game, and I'll get to all the animals in a second, but the honey badgers need a fucking shout out, because when you run into a honey badger in Far Cry 4, you're going to want a rocket launcher, because it's so overpowered. You could shoot him in the head, in the mouth, in the ass with a rocket, and sometimes he'll survive. That's how hard the honey badgers are in this game. But Gorlo, the honey badger, he's like Satan. He comes out of nowhere, and he's an albino honey badger, and it was the funniest, most amazing thing I've ever seen in a game, to blow a honey badger to smithereens. This side mission was awesome. I loved it. It was hilarious. So there are definitely some side missions in this game which will have you in stitches. Next up, I'm going to talk about the skill tree in this game, and I'll make it very simple. There's two sides to it. The left side is the tiger side. The right side is the elephant side. The tiger is all about your attacks and how you kill enemies and how you do bad things to animals. The right side is how you have defense and how you ride the elephants around and how you are peaceful and live with the earth and heal yourself. So those are acquired by getting skill points as you play the game. How do you get skill points? Well, guess what? Your XP, by getting headshots, by killing people with one-shots, by killing honey badgers with knives up their ass. You know, you can dream. And of course, from Far Cry 3, you have crafting in the game, which allows you to craft better tools for your journey in the game, so you can get things like bigger bags for your loot, bigger bags for your ammo, the ability to carry a bigger wallet, although he's got a bunch of pockets on him. I don't know why he can't just stuff money in them. Anyways, point being is you can craft in the game, and it's very important to do that. I have to say that. It's very important. You got to do that right away, guys. You got to do it right away because you're going to need a bigger wallet to get some of the guns, which I'll talk about now. Sorry, I lied. I'm going to talk about animals because Alyssa White from Everywhere, because she's on everything. Shout out to Alyssa White, who's probably going to be a 3KB legend. So she asked, how tough are the honey badgers? Let's talk about the animals. You've got an elephant that you can ride that can bash and slam into vehicles. It's amazing. I called mine Stampy. Thank you. Shout out to Lisa who helped me name Stampy. I had such an amazing time riding these elephants. So yes, you could ride elephants in the game. Then, on top of it, there's missions where you are kind of high as a kite controlling a tiger. That's right, you control a fucking tiger and eat people's faces. It's a lot of fun. It's also a lot of acid that went into designing that. You got monkeys, you got alligators, you got rhinos, you got yaks, you got pigs, you got boars, you've got a goddamn this goddamn eagle. What a pain in the ass. You look up at him and he's like, I'm gonna try to kill you. And he comes down, grabs your goddamn head and squats your face. And you're like, what the fuck? I'm just bird watching. Then you gotta try to kill him. It's not gonna happen really easily. So overall, the honey badgers are definitely OP in this game. I hate them. I want to kill them all, but then I want to cuddle with their corpses. I don't know why. It's just a fucking fetish. I gotta deal with it. Wesley Barlow asks on Facebook, what's your opinion of the weapons? And also, what do you think of the signature weapons not being obtainable from the beginning of the game? Well, signature weapons are weapons that you get in the game by completing cool little tasks. I actually think that's a really good part of this game, so it's very important that you don't just have everything right away. I did count the amount of weapons, so sidearms, you have 10 of those. Those are unlocked as you get different XP and all that stuff in the game. For the most part, when you take down towers, you get these items for free, just like you could do in Far Cry 3. I'm sorry, I'm so sick and I'm losing my voice, but let's move on to weapons themselves. So like the bows, shotguns, sniper rifles. There's 20 of those, so it's very, very different. So it's kind of one of those things where you play in your style. If you're the type of person that likes to go with the shotgun, there's a bunch of shotguns. If you want to be a sniper rifle expert, boom, you can do that in the game. You can also put on attachments to certain weapons, which I absolutely love. So you can put on suppressors, scopes, that sort of thing, and change the color of your gun as well. Now, there's also the signature weapons, and there's 16 of those. So if you add those all up, there's 46 guns. There's one Uplay gun that you unlock, which I'll spoil it for you now. It's from RoboCop. You get RoboCop's gun in this game. So 46 guns, is that enough? Absolutely. Love the weapons in this game. They controlled really well. The balancing, I think, needs a little bit of touching here and there, but overall, the weapon selection, absolutely liked it in this game. A ton of people asked me about online play, so I'm going to go through that very quickly. I definitely played that a lot. I enjoyed a lot of it. A lot of it was very unique to the world of Far Cry 4. I love the fact that there are these massive maps, these very open maps where you can also do crafting within them to get syringes to heal yourself. Now, I'll go through that really quickly as I'm losing my voice and dying. Online modes contain quick play, which is basically a very quick online match where you go in and kill each other. Then you've got your outpost online play, which is very interesting to me. In Far Cry 4, there are such things as outposts in the single player mission where you go and take those over, and it reveals cool little things on the map, and it'll give you like a lot of XP and bonuses when you clear out an outpost, just like you would do in Far Cry 3. But on the online outpost mode, there's a whole bunch of different outposts in this huge map, and you go as a team to take those things out. So in that, you have the open world aspect feeling to it, but it is online multiplayer. So it's one of those things that I really enjoyed playing, especially if you know the people you're playing with. Demon Mask online play, which is you go out there and collect demon masks. That's the point of that objective on online, and that's a very cool thing. It's, you know, it kind of reminds me of you know, classic modes like Capture the Flag. Instead of the flag, you're getting the demon mask. Last and not least, you have a propaganda one, and then, well, sorry, not last, but then you also have a custom match which you could set up for you guys and go into your teams and go have a blast online. So online, I have to say the co-op mode in Far Cry 4 is the best online part of the game, but the online modes playing with friends are still a lot of fun. Obviously, the map is not the whole open world map because that would be ridiculous. Maybe a Far Cry game could be like that in the future, but I'll give a thumbs up to the online modes. They're enjoyable. I have to say, you have to play with friends online that have headsets. You'll really enjoy it. Lastly, I want to talk about the map editor. A lot of people ask me about this map editor. I'm going to just basically say, holy shit, it's an improvement over last map editor that let you design maps for the multiplayer. In this one, you have 4 different options for your map design. So you start out with Assault. Assault is kill all the enemies on the map. So in the maps, you have almost, it feels not, it's not like it's unlimited, but you can really create some pretty cool things in the map editor. So you put down roads, you could obviously make mountains, put down structures, put down trees, put down items. Anything that you've seen in the main story game, you can do in the map editor. So you have the Assault, like I just said, which is kill all the enemies. Then you have Hunt, which is kill all the animals in a map. So you can create this like little crazy, like almost Jurassic Park feeling map where animals are coming from everywhere to kill you, and you have to kill them all to win. Next up, you have an Outpost, so kill all of the enemies to capture the outpost, just like you would do in single player. Last but not least, you have Extraction. Extraction is you getting from point A to B to get out of the map. In between, anything can happen. So those are a lot of fun. I have to say the map editor is very tedious at times. Camera is very hard to control at times. It's not perfect, but if you get the hang of it, you're going to be able to create some very unique, cool things, and I can't wait to see people create things from like GoldenEye or, you know, classic Team Fortress maps. You can do it in this game, but it's going to be difficult, but if you can pull it off, it's going to be a lot of fun. J Bunch, also known as JB, the 3KB legend, he always asks so many questions, so I have to include him or he'll send me like a fucking poison tea in the mail or something. Where do you see the franchise moving after Far Cry 4? And then Chris Seymour, he asks, is it worth purchasing if I've already, you know, killed Far Cry 3? Do I get Far Cry 4 to enjoy it? Is it different enough? Well, to answer JB, Where does it go after this? I think it needs to go into a city. I think that we're all sick of just running around these open environments with animals. Imagine it went into like New York City. Can you imagine it went into New York City and you can go into all the buildings and instead of killing like wild tigers, you kill giant cockroaches and rats? It'd be fucking awesome. Other question, Chris Seymour asks, do I buy it, basically? I have to say this. If you like online co-op and you like playing with a friend, there is no other game right now I could think of other than maybe Destiny at the time right now that you'll have this much fun with. I mean, when I say it's a lot of fun, it's really a lot of fun, guys. It's a lot of fun. So I have to say, only buy this game if you're a diehard Far Cry fan. You won't be let down, but I can't say that it's moved up in terms of its creativity. It really is bogged down by the fact that they've not really changed too much from Far Cry 3 to Far Cry 4 except the story. They knew that they nailed the open environment in Far Cry 3, so why change that much? I think they kind of sat back and, you know, it's not as advanced as I hoped. Graphically looks great. Do you buy it? Again, it's one of those decisions you're going to have to make out there. I can't tell you guys which games to buy and which not. I can just tell you my opinion. So overall, I give Far Cry 4 a 7.5 out of 10. It's really one of those games that relies on its open world. If this was a linear game, obviously, it would be a totally different genre. It's one of those things that defines open world. It's like GTA 5. It lives in its open world, it breathes in its open world, and it definitely delivers on its open world premise. Now, the story that's wrapped around this open world, unfortunately, isn't as high as I hoped. That's why it's getting a 7.5. I really feel that Pagan Min was underused, underappreciated. Troy Baker's fucking incredible as Pagan Min. A lot of different characters you run to in this game are very kind of flat. I felt that, what happened? Why? And AJ, as the protagonist, is kind of boring. I have to be honest. He is boring. He has his funny moments, but I really do feel that he's got this ho-hum feeling like, oh, fine, I'll do it. Or, I want to just put my mother's ashes where she asked, but okay, I'll help you. Okay, I'll help you. And he doesn't have a turning point, and I do understand that's part of the design of the game because you are choosing which side he's going to go on. But overall, I just don't feel like it blended that well together. I give it a 7.5, a strong 7.5. It's just not new enough for me. It's just one of those games that if you love Far Cry 3, you'll love this game, but don't expect something that's going to be like, oh my god, everything's new. It is not new. So thank you so much for watching the review. I really do appreciate this. I mean, I really had a hard time recording this. I'm dying.